2023 ACES AAC Speaker Series, Tech Owl, Institute on Disabilities at Temple University. Caitlyn Connelly, Thursday, July 20th, 2023. Caitlyn Connelly has cerebral palsy and dystonia. She graduated summa cum laude from Holy Family University with a degree in communications. Caitlyn gives presentations to college classes and schools to provide insight into her life. Caitlyn also maintains a website, www.caitlyn-connelly.com, where she reviews books, movies, and TV shows relating to disability. She loves bringing people together and in her free time enjoys spending time with friends and family, listening to audiobooks and music, and swimming.
Hello to everyone who's logged in here on Zoom, as well as our ACES participants on the other side of the screen. So we are here at Temple University's campus for the ACES Augmentative Communication and Empowerment Supports Program. This was a program started in the 90s here at Temple through the Institute on Disabilities, and we are located in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. We have so the ACES program is an opportunity for AAC users to come to campus, take classes, participate in activities along with their families and teams. So those of you on Zoom, we're being joined live here in a classroom at Temple with our ACES participants as well as their families and some supports staff. So we typically in ACES have guest speakers come and share their life experiences as AAC users, but this year we decided we wanted to open these presentations up to everyone else throughout the country via Zoom and the world as well, so that they can join in with our ACES community here. So I'd like to welcome our speaker for today, Caitlyn Connelly. Caitlyn is one of Tech Owl at the Institute on Disabilities, AAC user consultant. So she works with us here on some projects at the Tech Owl office and at the Institute. So I'm going to pass things on over to Caitlyn.
My name is Caitlyn Connelly and I am 26 years old and live in Yardley, Pennsylvania. I have a big family. I am the oldest of 6 children and the only one with my own birthday. After my mom and dad had me, they welcomed a set of twins and then a set of triplets. I also have 2 Bernese mountain dogs, Rocky and Tucker. I graduated from Bensalem High School in 2015, and I graduated from Holy Family University summa cum laude with a bachelor's degree in communications in December 2019. Today I am going to share my story and how I wish people could communicate with me and other AAC users better. I have cerebral palsy and dystonia, and use a power wheelchair. But when I was little I used a walker. My wheelchair is much faster and gives me the freedom to come and go. When I started kindergarten, my teacher made a huge deal about how I had cerebral palsy, even though all the girls only wanted to know if I liked Barbies. My parents remember me coming home and announcing to them that I have cerebral palsy like they did not know. They also remember me insisting on having them tell everyone we met, even strangers in a store, that I had cerebral palsy. I lost oxygen during delivery, resulting in my cerebral palsy, and around the age of 12 my cerebral palsy was getting worse, which is not typical, and I was later diagnosed with dystonia, which is similar to Parkinson's tremors. Both cerebral palsy and dystonia affect my movements. It is harder for me to move my arms, legs and mouth. My brain does not tell my muscles to relax and do what I want them to do. I am trapped in a body that does not do what I want or need it to do. And everything takes me much longer, or often I need to do things differently and I require assistance from others. From an early age, my mom and I would sit and read for hours and make frequent trips to the library, which I think turned me into an avid reader and nurtured my love of books. My all-time favorite book is My Perfect Imperfections by Jalpa Willoughby, which details the life of another young woman with cerebral palsy and I deeply connected with. My favorite nonfiction books are Inside My Outside by Sarah Piska and Ghost Boy by Martin Pistorius, both of which are written by AAC users. My favorite audiobook is Good Kings, Bad Kings by Susan Nussbaum. I also really like Sarah Piska's young adult fiction series, which so far consists of 3 books: Dancing Daisies, Switch the Song and Mix the Music. I love how words can transport you somewhere else and create more understanding as well as openness. I find communication fascinating, and like my favorite authors, I am passionate about bringing people together to connect, share, learn and just have fun. I am able to speak but not clearly or fast enough for strangers to understand and be patient. My parents, siblings and close friends are able to understand me, especially in one-to-one quieter settings. I have been best friends with my best friend Melanie since kindergarten, so she is a pro too. When I have a lot to say, it can become jumbled and you may only get bits of pieces, and a lot can be lost in translation. When I was little, I used some sign language and pictures, then a Dynavox. Now I am usually glued to my iPad and MacBook Pro. If I am going out, I have a mount on my wheelchair that can hold my iPad. I use 2 text-based AAC apps on my iPad to communicate with others. I type with my left index finger. The AAC apps I use are Assistive Express and Proloquo for text. I found Assistive Express myself, and Proloquo for text was recommended to me by someone when I was back in high school. I have installed both of these apps myself and haven't worked with anyone to help me improve my communication skills, especially doing presentations. I tried iGaze and am interested in pursuing getting a device since my left hand continues fatiguing and hurting. People make assumptions that I cannot speak and/or understand. People, including doctors, are always impressed with my writing ability, and it changes their view of me. If I only communicated through text, people would not know I had a disability. Word prediction is my friend and can cut off some time for me by selecting the predicted word rather than typing every letter of the word. Sometimes a person sitting with me while I type can predict what I am going to say, and I have been asked this recently by a family friend. Question: and I hope I'm not out of line. Is there anything that makes it easier or harder for you to communicate? For example, when you are typing and I know what you are saying. Should I say it so you don't need to continue typing? Not sure if that would be considered rude. Like interrupting? Hope you don't mind me asking. My response back was, I don't mind when I'm typing and you say what I'm typing. A lot of people do that and can figure out what I am trying to say as I am typing. Sometimes if I am saying a lot, then I continue to type just because I think it makes more sense when the whole word is there. It is harder to communicate if someone else is nearby. Like my mom for example, and they think they know what I am going to say and try telling you or whoever I am with, and they are way off base on the conversation but think they know everything. You can always ask me questions. It doesn't bother me. I actually usually tell people they can ask me anything and it doesn't make me uncomfortable. I also do not mind repeating myself when someone cannot understand me or if I'm having difficulty communicating a certain word. I often spell it for my listener. Be patient. Talk to me. Listen to me. These are key messages for good communication partners. To be a respectful communication partner to AAC users, you should consider these 10 strategies to put the AAC user first in your conversations. Good communication partners respect the effort AAC takes. Good communication partners are patient and wait. Good communication partners help manage noise. Good communication partners help manage physical space. Good communication partners watch the person, not the device. Good communication partners pay attention to the message and other cues. Good communication partners do not dominate the conversation. Good communication partners respect an AAC user's voice. Good communication partners ask. Good communication partners accept that communication is on the AAC user's terms. Communicating for me is difficult and exhausting. It takes a lot out of me to speak and or use a communication device. For me, personally, if it is quiet, I prefer to try using my voice first, especially if the person I am talking to is patient or familiar with me, as typing hurts and takes a really long time. Sometimes my words just get stuck and it's just easier to use my iPad. I think that it depends on the situation and who I am communicating with and also how I am feeling that day, which is why I am looking into getting an eye gaze device. I would rather repeat myself multiple times than be ignored or thought of as incompetent because someone is afraid to speak with me. It is very hurtful when someone ignores me or makes assumptions that I cannot communicate. Lots of times when I am out, strangers will talk to me like I am 2 years old or just speak to the person with me, and I guess that it is okay. People are sometimes uncomfortable around unfamiliar things, but I like it better when someone wants to get to know me. Everyone has their own unique voice, experiences, and desire to connect and be included, no matter their communication style. It is always important to ask the individual their own personal preferences. Be patient and understanding. Speak to the individual as an equal and a person. Not hover over the individual. Not touch the person's device unless the person says it's okay, and always put the person first. I hope you enjoyed listening. If anyone has any questions or comments, I'm happy to answer.
Caitlin, we have a parent here who asked how Proliquo for text is different than Proliquo.
Hi, I'm Kate's mom. She said it's not symbols.
Does anybody else? Oh, it looks like we have a question online. How long would it take for you to write out today's presentation, for example?
Forever, she said. I only help a little. I only help a little when she really lets me. It does take her a long time to type all that out.
Does anyone else have questions for Caitlin? No. Okay. Well, Caitlin, we want to thank you for presenting here for everyone and sharing. Oh, wait, I think I see another question. We've got a comment for you. Great presentation. My fellow therapy staff is also impressed from online. And yes, I think Caitlin here, we really enjoyed your presentation here in the room. So we're going to give you a round of applause for joining us today here live. Thank you so much for sharing your experience with us.
Thank you.
And thank you everyone for joining us.